what do you use? What are your main tools? Knife, right?
Knife and
Okay, so when we start doing this, you're going to start seeing it's going to be different types of stuff. You probably eventually want to get a jigsaw. Okay, it'll make it a lot easier.
This is adjustable. Couple passes over that. So are we sharp edge because you're going to be overlapping that. Anyways, a little draw knife.
Do a little bit more on this side.
Sure.
I'll get you guys all the way.
This is if this fits perfectly, and you give yourself a nice eighth up on top, you're going to be fine. But a lot of installers, they don't want to take that extra step. They've dry fit it, and they can pound it in, and it looks good, and it looks good and tight. But the problem is, if it's tight, especially down here with the hot and cold, the expansion,
contraction.
If you're tight, even on this much, in a few months, you may see that crown on you. It'll bone. So if you can leave yourself an eighth up on top and silicone it in, you're good. So the advantage of this, and I don't know if you want to go this route, is you just cut it off an inch. So you're not horsing around with getting the perfect all four sides. And then you fill it in with that. You've already, there's your expansion, contraction. So at the end of the day, you'll have trim up along the top.
It's like flooring with base molding.
Yes, yeah.
Like cabinet.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you'll have two short horizontal ones, and then you'll drop down. And you know, you do have the option of receiving the panel with the V here at 2 inches, if that's what you want to do. If you want to eliminate trims, as I was walking through your shop, I noticed you've got some acrylic that's already got the, yeah, so we can provide that for you if that's what you want. So does that mean that you put an extra thickness of dent shield or Durarock or something on the wall? Is that what you do to turn that corner?
No, they rip it down.
It's about a quarter.
Oh,
They'll rip that bull nose down.
to flush?
Right?
Yeah.
About an
Yes.
inch.
It's about an eighth.
Yeah, they don't
quarter.
need that big.
The thickness. I know a lot of guys that do nothing but order that piece right there. It's a 3-inch trim with a 2-inch lip. And the reason for that is because who knows, as you tear things out and have to go back and start rebuilding, maybe you have to fudge a little bit here and there. And so maybe this doesn't quite get it back. So you may have to, I mean, you could cut it off at that point and create that. You could cut it off a little bit more if you had to for some crazy reason. The versatility of the trims is what I really like. So slide that seam strip down here.
Is there window kits as well?
There are. Yeah, it'll come with 2 lengths. It'll be 96, and it'll be like 6 inches long with a 1 1/4 lip, and you'd cut that off.
Depending.
And it'll have 4 little block rosettes.
So you can do a 60-inch window, 65-inch.
Yeah. Yep.
That's good.
Yep.
Laptops are 48, right?
Yeah, ours are
50.
52.
51 and yeah, 51 and a quarter.
Your windows in the back.
No, that wrap, the jacuzzi only does what 51
51 and a
inches
quarter, yeah.
wide. So we get a big window, we can't do
You gotta
anything.
makeshift it.
Oh. Okay. So the versatility of our trim kit, you're going to get 2 of them, 96, and if you got a huge window, you obviously have to
The only
get.
difference is the lip. On ours, I think it's about like 2.5. That
Is it?
Like 2.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that this is 1 1/4. I believe in it. It's got a nice edge. And so then it has, 4 rosettes you just pin in the corner, and it's nice. You probably saw it in our
Yeah, I
show.
saw it over there.
Yeah. Okay. So the great thing about this trim is you can turn this into almost anything that you need. So you can cut that off and make it a little bit longer lip trim. You can cut it off here and make that. If for some reason you need a seam strip, then you cut it off right here and you create that. And there are jobs that the sidewalls, instead of putting this up, let's say that you've got some damage on a corner, and where putting this up still exposes a lot of damage. And I don't know how you guys work it out with the homeowners. I don't know to what extent. Some companies do everything from sanding to painting to floors to, and some just wet area only. But the advantage of this trim is you can now make an outside corner by taking this and putting a V right down the middle,
Bending it.
and throw it on the cow rod and bending it, and you can make this, which now covers the panel and also wraps around.
Yeah, because what jacuzzi has is 1 3/4, so we can make ours less, whatever we need, 2 1/4. We can make ours any size. Our own corner.
How do you finish the edge?
Sometimes we'll
Yes,
order a
finish.
corner trim for jacuzzi.
Yep.
Oh.
It's just like that.
Okay.
But it's only 1 3/4. I can't do anything with it.
Oh, okay.
It's 1 3/4, and I can't change it. That I can change.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, we also have an outside corner in 3x3. The reason I like this one is because if you've got this trim going all the way around, you don't want to all of a sudden have this little
back,
thing,
yeah.
because he doesn't balance. So that's where you want a 3x3. It not only covers more area, but it looks,
The sight line.
yep,
Aesthetics.
yes. Now, also, so here's an inside corner. I've put at least 5,000 of these systems in, and I've only used this one time, because I have the ability to make a nice inside corner, and you silicone it and it looks great. But I had one job where it was framed with like 61 inches, or maybe even 61 and a half.
Oh, so you had to grow it.
So, and our panels are 60.
Yeah.
So I centered the 60-inch panel. So I had about 3/4 of an inch gap over here, 3/4 of an inch gap over here. Fortunately, I floated my floor and I had tile on it, because it was I think it was an ADA for wheelchairs, you know. But so then I used this. So in the corner, I was able to span that gap, and I made it without having to take this panel, flip it this way, and then stack another one and use the same, right there. Or you could put, a panel on this side, a panel on this side, and a seam in the middle. But so the versatility of these things are great. So on the job site, I love having all the tools, my my router with the half-inch bit, and I think
Yeah, I have
you've
one
got
of
that,
those,
because then let's see, I've got another couple pieces there. Vinny, will you bring those over for me, please?
So our normal wall application would be wall panel on wall panel like this.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Second now.
Yeah.
Silicone
That
that.
is pretty good.
Silicone that.
Okay, good option.
Yeah.
I like this too. I like this almost better.
Yeah.
Does that come? I know sometimes we do like an inside corner shelving system. Do you guys have shelves that are inside corners?
We have
Yeah, they do.
we have
shelves.
corner shelves,
Uh-huh.
and so obviously that your shelf will have to go on first if this is going to go on and butt up underneath them.
Oh, gotcha.
Did-
Oh,
did-
okay.
is
Quite
that your?
between. Or like what's it, we would call it caddies? The caddy.
No,
There
no,
you
no,
go, they
that's
don't
a
have
Perry
caddies.
shelf.
That's a Perry. Just so Perry shelves. Okay.
Yeah, the caddies we
corner
have.
shelf.
You'll see it's a wall type.
It's a knit.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a
Got
knit.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
The Amazon soap dish. And I also.
Yeah. So this V, you can do so many things, and you just have to try to find that depth. And obviously, straight edge. I'm not good enough that I can just follow a line because I'm going like this, you know. So straight edge, and I can do that. Put this on the cowl rod, and we'll do these.
No. You want an edge? If we wanted to push this?
No, 'cause it's going to take 15 minutes.
Yeah, we
to-
can get a wall up and we can do
Yeah,
that later.
yeah. But the cowl rod takes about 30 seconds to put enough heat on here that it just, you don't have to force it, it just bends. And then when it cures, or cools, I should say,
It melts it together.
yeah, it's rigid. Kind of like the threshold that I've got right down there.
I see it.
Yep. Now, I don't know if you guys are going to be doing a lot of thresholds.
Oh yeah. We can do our
Curb?
Well,
Curbs.
Yeah.
well, and then this we can do. We have a pony wall, like
pony
what
wall
I
top?
saw over there.
Yes. Yep.
You're able to make a pony wall and make it all
Yeah.
one piece.
Yes.
So you have your edges like this.
Yeah, yeah. So the versatility of this is like Vinny said. If you've got a pony wall, and I don't know, the word that we use is a California bath,
Oh, okay.
where there's a shower,
Shower and bed.
pony wall,
We
Top.
call those cal combos.
cow combos. Okay.
Like a
That used to
burrito.
be really popular in Utah. I mean, I started a ceramic tile business in around 1980
Mm-hmm.
and did hundreds of California baths, Cali combos, tons of them. And then all of a sudden, about in the mid 90s, they stopped. I don't know why. People didn't bathe anymore. They wanted a shower. And too big a hurry to be going wherever they're going. So not many bathtubs.
That's where our business is.
Conserve water. Conserve water.
Do a lot of them.
So, I'm going to try to explain this. I think I made this to fit over a 2x4. Okay, so the inside, obviously, 3.5 inches. I like to make it a little bit big, and everybody has their own style. I like it big with a little bit of slop, a little bit of movement, simply because I can fill it up with adhesive. That's not a problem. But if you're a 30 seconds short to that, you're in trouble. Yeah. And so that 3.5 inches is from that point to that point. Because when it folds over on itself, these match. So, it takes people a little while to learn this, but the V from here to there is like 3/16, and there to there is 3/16. So if I want to cover a 3.5 inch, call it pressed, treated 2x4, I take the 3 and a half,
Yeah, 3/8.
add
Plus
3/8, and it's 3 7/8
Center to center.
center to center. Now, everyone has their own style, creates their own style as far as how deep they're going, how much pressure they put on the band. So you may want to start big. So maybe add a half inch for starters, especially if you've got a 2x4 and you've put some red guard or whatever you've done. You might want it big, and big is not bad because, again, you can cover it all with
It's better to have some
your
play.
adhesive. Yeah, you want play, you really do. But you can create so many things. So that scrap right there, I would probably, let's not toss that away because that'll be a good practice thing. So I would just kind of in your minds create what you think you want to horse around with, and I brought some pieces that I'll show you. And the cowl rod and your imagination, you can do almost anything. You can actually build pony wall caps, and I believe that when Cody and Matt were here, a month and a half ago, they brought a couple of pony wall caps. You can build things like that. I was going to bring them, and they said no, they've got them. I don't know if you've got them here, but
You just created this with the router bit?
yes.
The bead?
Yep. Very, very simple. There's a pony wall cap. So let's say that you've got that pony wall. So there's your 2x4s, and this extends back. Obviously, this is going to be big, but that's kind of how it's going to be. You can build that. That has a finished edge down here and a finished edge there. It takes a little bit of doing and creating a video how to build these, but in the meantime, I build these all the time and send them out with jobs. So the critical thing I need is, what's the measurement? What's this inside measurement? That's the one thing I need, and I'll make it a little bit big. So if you tell me with,
The exact size is this.
yes, so 2x4, dent shield, central, let's say it's 5 inches or whatever. I'll make this probably 5 1/8. And if you need it 40 inches long, I'm going to send it to you 45 inches long.
Yeah, we can.
Whatever. But it'll come out with your job. And so you just pull this out of the box. You've got your pony wall in, and it's done. Now, you see how that's a nice finished bottom? I think I was telling Vinny of a job that I did several years ago. The last piece of the entire job was the pony wall cap, and I put that on, and it was so beautiful. It was mocha travertine. I don't know what you're going to call mocha travertine, but I'm curious now.
This color the same.
Truffle travertine.
Truffle travertine.
He is so proud of it.
He's laughing. Okay,
Starbucks.
it was in truffle travertine that I did then. And I built this on site, made the edges beautiful. Put it in. It was about 7:30, and I was leaving. It was winter, and I had a 2-hour drive home. On my way home, he calls me. He says, "This is fantastic, except I don't like this cap that you made." And I said, "What don't you like about it?" He says, "It looks plastic." I said, it is plastic. What is it that makes it look plastic? He says the bottom edge is rounded. Can I get it without being rounded? And I said, yeah, I'll come up in the morning, but in the meantime, would you please, while your adhesive's wet, pull that thing off. So he had to cut silicone, pull it off. So I went back and built the very same thing, except I didn't round that edge. So it was it was like 1.5 inches, but that edge was white.
Straight cut.
But it looked, I was skeptical, but it looked awesome. As in, whoa. So it looked like a chunky piece of travertine. Truffle travertine. It was a chunky piece
Not the
of
mocha.
It was a chunky piece of mocha.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, I like that. So for the next year, that's all I did. Until one person says, why isn't that bottom edge finished?
Yeah.
Then you went back to the.
So I don't know if I'd give homeowners an
would
option.
stick with
I would
that,
just,
though.
I would just do this. So this is how you're gonna get it, okay?
I think most of ours came before that anyway.
Yeah.
So, all right, these guys are gonna haul this in and see if this is, oh no.
Thank you, Carter.
Do you know what coroplast is? You do?
Plexiglass, like the blue one, right?
No, it's a corrugated plastic.
Oh, that little white sheet,
A
right?
little white sheet.
Yeah.
Comes in 4x8. You get it at Home Depot or wherever. What I did is on my table saw, I cut a bunch of strips at about 1.25 inches wide. So then I have my battery powered hot glue gun, and I cut these strips into about 2 foot lengths.
Template.
Yep, and I hot glue and hold them, and I can create a template and slope that slope, okay? So I've gone all the way around this, tight, and then I put in a couple of braces just so I can pull it out, lay it on my panel. I kind of clamp it, cut it fast. You're shaking your head. I shook my head until I tried it.
Some other companies do that, the template one.
Do they?
I do it with granite, but with this, it's a lot faster
Especially
the way we do it.
if you're gonna go up,
You have template for the countertop. Granite.
Yeah.
if you're going to do your trim up here, kind of like we talked about that option, then it's even faster. Of course. You just cut 1 inch off
Oh yeah.
and put it in there. You look at, you know, and if you have to take your power plane and take just a little bit more off here,
But that's one thing that the salespeople have to let the customer know, because they're gonna ask, hey, what about that? And I don't like that. See what I'm saying?
yep.
But
They will have to specify it on the
some
paperwork.
salesperson does know.
You know, that's true. We've got companies out there that salesperson, he only wants the trim because it's fast. It really is. We have companies that don't want those and never ever put them up. So it's up to you guys. Maybe your style is not up.
Because the thing is this, that sometimes we have a crown mold in the top.
Yeah.
Not very often, but some. What are you gonna do with another trim underneath? It's gonna look too crowded.
It will.
Too much.
Yeah. When Vinny saw it, he says, we gotta use this stuff.
Like that red card or?
So in order to cut this, you need a grinder and it's dusty and it's,
Well, I gotta find a deal on dent shield.
Okay.
I wanna change from our green board to dent
Okay.
shield, but that shit's expensive.
it is.
So I gotta find,
Okay.
if I can get a
Yeah.
cheaper price
You
breakdown.
probably could find it
But
in-
it is
in-
worth it.
I think it
we were
is.
talking about this.
Yeah.
This is, I did once. I'm a tile setter for 30 some years, but I found out some people when I cut this, they don't like the smell. They're allergic to the concrete.
Yeah.
Because it makes so much dust.
It's so bad.
I will go for Harry Backer
Yeah.
or Greenboard. Nothing else.
The reason I like dent shield is because it's kind of a fibrous back, and it's kind of itchy, so I have to wear the gloves. But the face is not cement. It's kind of a sprayed-on waterproofing. It's a rubber face, but you can score it and break it just like drywall, and then score the back, and it's done. Bang bang, done. And it's heavy. There's zero dust. It's just like drywall. So this is.
I do. So does Max.
What is it? 35 square feet each.
What is it? 5 by
5'8".
7, 5 by 7, 35.
Yeah, each.
Yeah.
You can get by with 2 of these without any problem. 2. And so
Dot system.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't need to measure or anything, but if you're at 4 or so inches, you really, because by the time that flattens out, that'll get just about right there. Now, it's not 100% coverage as far as that was yours. If you were to pull it off, do you have 100% coverage on the back
No.
of your panel?
No,
With-
we have the S patterns with the dots between them.
Okay. So,
The gap between those lines are not big enough that you can put your hand there, but
okay. Now, so you just carry on all the way down. Now, one thing I want to make sure that you.
okay, I have a question here.
Yes.
The pattern of the dots, do you just follow the same lines or do you go like,
Rand.
because that would create like a sheer, no, you don't? Doesn't
No.
matter? Okay, good.
Those are great. At that rate right there, we'll probably do 3.
It's getting close. You can do 4. You know what I mean?
Sometime somewhere between 2 and 3.
What's that?
That's great.
Like you were saying, but I think it makes more sense.
Stagger it.
The point
You-
to be,
you
to
can.
be, and just.
So no. What? Here's the thing. Okay, there's got to be consistency in all this.
Yeah.
He's already done testing on all this stuff with this stuff. So
Yeah.
I want to get to this dot system. Okay.
I understand what you're saying about offset, but
Yeah, that's a brick
Yeah.
system, how you
Right,
actually
it's-
create the
it's like-
shear.
it's like having
So
a head
you
joint, yes.
you never go like straight line because that would create a breaking point.
I've tested both, and it's 6s as far as strength for
No.
our adhesive. But one thing I want to make sure that we understand
Okay.
is you don't want to put a bead all the way around it, because what that's going to do is that's going to seal that off. So
And no room for the
you need
the
air.
yeah.
You need air
So you
to
cannot-
help it off gas. You need air, which contains moisture, because it's the moisture that helps cure this. And again, I've run tests on not only what we're going to send you, but a ton of other adhesives. And if you were to seal that off and wait 2 weeks and pull the panel off, the edge is probably going to be nice and tight and firm, and then you're going to struggle. But inside, all the inside is still going to be gooey. It's still not going to be cured after 2 weeks if you've sealed that off.
All right. One more question.
Yes.
You're done with the
sausage gun.
you're done with the sausage pattern.
Yep.
You're putting the wall up.
Yep.
Now you have to put pressure on the wall and
I'll
kind of
I'll show you that.
what do you use not to damage the wall?
This. So as soon as we get this in place,
Because a lot of installers use their level. They just push it,
that's great. I like to.
but they cannot really like kind of like slide it on the wall because it's gonna scratch it.
I don't mind a level,
Doing great, Miguel.
but I also know that there are a few people that will use a vinyl roller. You know, you just kind of roll it up and down. It's got
But then again,
a rounded edge.
It's not the fastest.
you're right on that's the way you're doing it because this is solid.
Yeah.
The one with the material that we have right now is not solid.
Yeah.
Something
So-
else.
Yeah.
This is. You're right.
So Austin does this. His fist is gonna go to the neighbors.
That system takes a lot of time.
The bead down there is fine, or dots is fine down there. That's perfect. And even that right there, yeah, that's wide. But you know what? It's not that. That's a pretty decent pattern. But I do believe that you could go that size right there. If you stay that size or even that size, you're going to be under 3.
Yeah.
Now, our objective isn't
So 5.
isn't trying to reduce the amount of adhesive. That's not what we're here
No.
for. It's what is best. And
What is best, but what I want to do is I want consistency.
Yes.
with these guys, which means it's a dot pattern.
yeah,
A dot
Yep.
pattern every 4 to 5 inches.
Yep.
And then we limited back walls, we can be 3 to 4. Okay.
Okay.
So I kind of want to have a sequence, so when I know what
Okay.
we have for walls, we know what to do. You know, every instance different. Sometimes it might. You really should have a flat wall and it be even.
Yes.
If you have to fur out your wall, you should be consistent.
Yeah.
So there's. It has to be a dot system. Bottom line.
Yeah.
I just want everyone to do the same thing.
That's the way it is.
And so when we do a job, I know if I give them a case, we're not gonna have to worry about anything for one.
You definitely won't.
You know,
I last week I took a piece of cardboard and I just wanted to make sure that I was right in my 20 feet each per tube per sausage, and I just went as far as I could go at dots like that until I ran out, and I was at 20 square feet. 20 square feet
for that.
per sausage. All right, let's get him in. Rag, when you say solvents, do you guys carry like denatured alcohol and have it on the job?
Vinyl cleaner.
It's what?
Vinyl cleaner.
Vinyl cleaner?
Denatured
can't get
alcohol is
denatured here.
illegal in
I
California.
was that was the second half of my question. You can't get it here.
No, I gotta smuggle it in.
I
Masa's my
almost
smuggler.
sent some.
You haven't sent me to you mine in
I
so long.
almost sent some, but
Why is it illegal in California?
what's that?
Why is it illegal in California?
Environment.
I don't
It's
know.
not good for
right.
environment.
It kills the baby turtle or like a baby bird.
Okay, so the same way
His face when he
that
says
you
that.
put that in,
Hold on,
go ahead and
hold
bend
on,
it and
hold on.
get that.
May I get that again? Why is it illegal?
Bottom first. Bottom first and then push it
It
up.
For
is.
some shorts.
And that would be Mike Pierce. Hello. Hi.
Gotta go up, match that is high.
There is a fan up there also.
Yep.
You can bend it. There you go.
He'll really flex down. It's okay.
Oh, you're super cool.
Huh?
Dude, that beer is super cool. Super easy. Yeah.
Okay.
And then just what?
Yep. I like to get kind of aggressive with it. It's thick enough, rigid enough that I just use this and
Definitely gotta.
bang it. And
Vinny's an aggressive kind of guy, so it's just
you can almost hear
It's a good thing I'm recording.
that adhesive in there. Just
What did you say?
just a little
There's no
bit.
plastic. There's no plastic corner piece like we use right now.
No.
No, this is showroom, so we don't need it, but when we're
But there will
installing,
be
there
in the
will be.
You're talking about the 90-degree back behind
Yeah.
where the walls meet?
CR96, yes.
Is that what you guys always use? Is that 1.5 by 1.5?
Yeah.
Inside corner.
Yes.
Inside corner. That's the first thing
Corner
that you do,
reinforcement.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And you shoot.
I level my inside corners.
Yep. That's what you'll do.
And
Showroom,
those will come with your package.
yes.
Because we order them from.
You
Central.
probably will order a box. If I'm you, I'd just order a couple
They
boxes.
come with an install kit, right?
Now, one thing that I do is oftentimes, okay, you've got just a little bit of a lip right there, so you're going to want to go rather heavy on your adhesive.
Super heavy.
And that was a good point. I like to go heavy, real heavy up here, so that it creates a seal.
Fans out.
Yeah.
Secondary water
Yep.
barrier.
Yep. And I wouldn't completely beat it out, but at least up here. Now, one thing that you might want to do is dry fit it. Put a pencil mark where your level is, where your Sharpie. So does that Sharpie come off with?
Now this film's off now.
Yeah, the film's off, so.
It's
Sharpie.
okay.
No.
So will the magic eraser
Oh, it'll
kind of
come
leave
off?
marks and-
On the wraps it does.
Yeah.
The vinyl cleaner takes it out. Yeah,
You
takes it
cannot
out.
use
Sharpie
magic
goes-
eraser.
This will come off on this or no?
With vinyl cleaner.
You cannot.
It will.
Yeah, with the vinyl cleaner. I don't know about this stuff.
Denatured alcohol, I could write all over that.
Then the vinyl cleaner probably does it. Then can't get.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I wasn't joking.
Bring it up.
Okay.
There you go.
On the bottom too or no?
Yeah. Now, one thing that I do, and I've noticed, you've got a bottom plate here, so I'll throw a little bit right here. Is that the bottom?
You do?
Yep.
Yes.
And sometimes if you've got this centered and you've got a stud right there, then you throw some up there if you want. Just, okay.
So how different is this
Sean.
Then
than
the wrap.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit thicker. It's
Yeah.
not as flexible and stuff.
But I meant installing wise.
Oh, just the same. It's just the wrap.
So you would tape that
You need
up
a
right
pen
now,
like
right?
that, so you don't have to worry about the light.
You could, if you've got some painter's tape, then I wouldn't,
Set.
yeah, just kind of hold it in place.
Okay.
Okay, these are the sidewall panels. for this
So we
one.
said we're using that
Is
one.
that right? Because it was, you wanted to match this side on the inside. But what I was explaining is this panel and that panel, the pattern, they're identical. So what we're trying to avoid is to have repeat patterns. So the sidewalls generally are flipped. So if you're gonna do with the dominant side on that wall, then you want to flip it so this dominant is up here. The last thing you want are three walls that look absolutely identical. And it just takes a little bit of looking and planning. So, and these guys have planned out that this is the one that you want,
Right here.
correct?
Yeah.
And that
Okay.
one, would we flip it?
We're gonna have to flip it.
The green on the bottom? Yeah,
What?
the green on the bottom, right?
No, because then that's going to be exactly like that one. If you're going to use this one here, and this is the inside,
Right.
then, and that's the top, then this is how this one's gonna go right there. So this is now the top, and this is the inside. You with me? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about the bench.
Yeah.
These are rated, they began to fail at about 1,600 pounds. We were able to apply that much. You're trying to think, how we're gonna get 1,600 pounds? Who's
You find four
Crazy.
people that are 400 pounds and you just pile them above each other.
Well, I think they're rated for 600 pounds. Not a problem. So, it's like I was explaining to Vinny. Each box that contains a bench is going to have 4 parts. It's going to have the block, it's going to have the face, then it's going to have the cap, and it'll have some composite shims. And so we're going to show the process of how this is. Since I can't get down on my knees, so I'm going to rely on you guys to do that.
So we'll start with this. We're gonna have some
Yeah.
sausage. So we'll move that.
Now, it'll probably not be square in here, because I think I threw it in there and I wanted to see. It's not perfectly square. You see there's still a little bit of gap over there. But what I've done is I
You want me to fix it or no?
yeah,
But tell us what you done.
it's not a big deal if you don't, because what matters is that top cap. And if you want to, yeah.
Well, you're creating a gap behind the wall now.
But that,
Oh, the tuck there.
the adhesive is good enough.
Stretch
that
it enough that it'll still adhere.
Yeah, it's not gonna be too much
Plastic
strain.
hardness.
Yep,
It's gonna be strong.
that'll be great. That'll be great.
Alright.
Okay, so the first order of business is, again, to put glue, the same style of dots on this and this. We're not gonna put any on the bottom.
Not on
okay?
the bottom.
No. And again, you don't want to seal this off because it's going to take a while to cure if you do.
I see.
You with me?
Yes.
So let's put dots of the adhesive on this side and on this side and squish it in. Then we'll go on the
Nick, how
next
about my
side.
level? Do I need my level over here? The
Give me
torpedo?
this sausage.
No.
No?
Not
Not right now?
Not right now.
There is no.
Oh, those are good dots.
So there is no bracketry or any kind of knotting?
Nope. No. No. That's good.
And then I'll just go the other way?
Yep. The great thing about this is the fact that it's a retrofit. Back in the day when I was doing things, we'd do jobs, and we either had to frame it, which is a leak waiting to happen, I think, if you're not careful.
Yep.
Or somebody would call up and say, oh, man, I wish I had a bench. And so the only way to do it, okay,
Do you want to press?
now you're gonna wanna flatten it up against there, okay?
Okay.
Yep.
Against this.
Yep. So the reason that
Pretty solid.
it is, the reason that we're gonna use the shims is because if you notice down there, in every floor that you're dealing with is gonna be a little bit different because of slope, whether it's a center, left, or a large one, you know, they're all gonna be a little bit different. So we could not conform that skin the same each time. So what we're gonna do, gonna use these. And
Go under.
Yep, and sometimes you may have to double them. And so you'll make your mark and then you'll cut those so that you know exactly where they are.
You know, I turn them around because to cut them, it's easier to cut on this than this corrugated.
Yep.
How many do I need to
So
put?
turn them around.
Probably, I like 4. I like 4, and if you need to double them,
4 of them?
yep.
Do I have my...
Did somebody steal your knife
No, my
or your
marker.
marker? Here.
And my knife too.
I don't know if you'll see that very well, but if you get her close.
This Riley would have like.
And next
Yeah.
time you may want to remove the film
Wait, you're not-
before you
Yeah,
actually
okay.
do it.
Made a good point. You hear that?
What?
She has a damn good point.
What did you say? Oh,
Next-
plastic. Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yes.
This is for training purposes.
I'll tell you,
That's not gonna happen in real life.
no, I've just, oh man,
Just cut it very
just
close.
cut it. Yeah, you're fine.
Of course, in real life, I wouldn't do this.
Uh huh. This is a fake light.
But even if
Want
you
to pull
did,
it off?
no one's gonna know until the plastic gives
You
away.
can do that.
Just the edge of it. Yeah, just remove the. Yeah, there you go. Okay, you're good now.
It does happen.
All right, so.
Okay.
So this is a good example of what you guys should not do.
Yeah, that's what I'm scared
And this is the guy who did it. Guilt trip.
Guilty, guilty.
He did that intentionally. He wanted to show how not to do it.
How easy it is.
He's a good guy for taking the heat.
You know what this is called? Karma.
Gee.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What did you do?
I just told her I messed up my job.
Okay. Now, if you want to shoot a little bit of adhesive in there as you slide them in, you can. It's not a big deal. You don't want to have a big mess down there.
Yeah.
So that's okay, just like that. As long as it's bearing the weight out front, that's what matters. Okay.
Okay.
Now that skin. Yep, the skin, and so you're going to need your Sharpie, because the first thing that you're going to do is we want to scribe the bottom. Okay.
This
This is always going to be like this.
This is always gonna be like that.
Not
Not as
that
matte?
far. There's quite a bit of room in there. But the first thing that I would do is I would take this Sharpie and I would trace all the way along the bottom, and then I'd cut that with it.
About quarter an inch, or how much?
I would just lay that. Well, it all depends on
How much room do you have on top?
your
I-
gap,
I got-
which you don't have much.
I got about half inch, so it's,
No, okay, yeah.
let's see, it's about this much.
Yep. Now, a lot of times I carry my compass, and so I determine what I've got to do and adjust the compass and put my Sharpie on that, and there's my perfect. It not only controls the depth, but the contour at the same time. Oh,
No?
you're gonna knife it.
Oh yeah,
Knife it?
told you.
Don't get hurt.
No?
I would jigsaw.
Jigsaw it, but if I have like a knife,
I'd say go for it.
the only thing is I don't have
Don't
my-
get too close to your leg. Okay, there you go.
I was training a guy that wanted to try the knife. And I says, "Are you good with the knife?" And he says, "No, but you make it look easy." And I said, "Well, I don't like the knives. I'd rather use a jigsaw." He pulled out a knife, and he was pulling it to him, and it jumped off his panel, and it started right there and ended up about right there. And he was gone for the rest of the. Oh, gee, I can't watch this.
Cut your buddy, not your body.
Yeah, this is kind of a jigsaw.
Well, what I will do, I'll just get my clippers and just snap it out.
Try it. Do it.
Fortunately, I don't have my clippers, so.
I do.
And now, this is something that we don't need to worry about. Is that you'll feel it. You're a little bit and it kind of goes by feel here, but you're getting really close, and that you don't need to worry about that. But if you can feel that you're short here, you know that there's a lot of give, then you need to take just a little edge off that.
This one is pretty close, but
That's not bad.
It's not bad.
Barely an eighth. So I'll tell you what you could do is you could take that off. What's that? A quarter?
That's a
The
quarter.
heavy side, and then hit that once with the
With an 8, maybe.
with the power plane, and you're probably there.
With the planer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that and this, and then I think you got this.
We'll use the planer, but I'm still gonna
Yep.
like a little line.
Yep.
Have a mark.
I've unplugged the planer. How many employees are here in this building? Did I ask somebody on that already?
Well, what?
How many?
We got one right here.
employees? How many? From salesman to warehouse to
20
the saw
salespeople, so
to-
20. Probably like around 65.
in this building.
How many have at yours? You got the factory too.
What's that?
You have your factory too.
Yeah, the factory's right there, so I think we're at 85 right now.
You guys want some salt?
No. No, they would, people look at that as a conflict of interest, and so we have local installers that spend an awful lot of time coming down and learning how to do it, but most of our best dealers are out of state. They really are. Here, I'll take that. It'll be messy if you. You tell me when you want to eat.
Yeah, we got food, guys. So
You want to do it now?
Yeah, let's do that
Then
now.
we'll put this cap
Let's
on.
finish the bench. Let's finish the bench.
You want to finish?
Yeah,
the
we'll-
bench? Okay. So now, you just kind of want it close as you can to that side and the front. You're going to have a little overhang on front. That's just the
Got
way
like
it's
a
going to
finger.
be.
finger
Oh,
over
that's
here.
out the way? Or can we cut it and make it tight?
You got a finger, you got a whole finger over here.
Yeah, that's like a whole.
Is that half inch?
Yep, so again, measure your gap and cut that, and then this one here is probably about the same. Yeah,
So. I think it's about that. Let's see.
that might be a little bit
right
much.
there's.
Will you show that one more time how you measure it?
Yeah, yep. So right here, I know that this is a 1/4 of an inch. So so my measurement minus a 1/4, I'll take a 1/4 inch off this, but then this side, I'm measuring from right here to right there. That gap there is a 1/4. You see that? From right here to here. You're not measuring.
From the back.
You're not measuring from here to there because it slopes away from you. So I think if you take a 1/4 off that side and that side, you're dead on. It looks square. It looks good.
Always cut again.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's do it. I'd say go ahead and fill
The
that
dot,
in.
the dot? Dot system again?
Yeah. I know that these little beads that you're referring to, they'll put that in concrete in to help with expansion, contraction, and stability of non-cracking of driveways.
Yeah.
They throw.
Pop-outs?
They throw.
Styrofoam pop-outs?
Yeah.
They're all made out of that.
Are they?
Yeah.
So
Which-
white,
We have
trans.
white
Yeah, sorry.
and white. Trans white, which is the most popular. So we go through thousands of tubes per month.
Trans white here.
That's trans white, and 70% of what we use is trans white. Then it's trans beige to go with maybe 3 or 4 colors. Trans brown to go with our darker colors. When we first started, we were heavy in the browns, heavy in the earth tones, and that has begun to fade away. We're now to the lighter colors, the grays, the whites, the Calcutta whites, the white pearls, and so our trans brown, our browns are going away. We still have maybe 3 browns. We have mocha travertine, we have Brescia Paradiso, and I am trying to think of the other trans brown, and I can't think what it is. Maybe it's just 2 colors, and then a few beige, and then the trans white. So it blends so well, and it's awfully forgiving as opposed to clear, because the installers, I mean, unless you're tight, clear really shows. Where the trans colors it covers up to height up there. And if you're on a job where instead of coming back and finishing all this stuff, if this is where you want to put this 3x3 corner on, that's where you do it. Now, in this type of a deal, you'd almost want to put a ceiling panel on so you could go all the way around it, you know what I mean? Because it'd be tough to finish it against here, but yeah. But so these corners are spectacular for finishing a rough edge. But in this exercise, we're just going to come out to the outside of that. Yeah.
See, what I want to do when we do this, guys, is when we come to here,
Yeah, you really could. Yep.
just see how, just over the, see how that'll work out. I was just looking at that radius.
Oh, you want to just inside of that?
Well, let's look and see, because we're gonna line it up with this right here.
Have you ever received one of those alcohol but me?
Line it. Yeah, but we're just gonna line it up like that.
It's always a straight
When we do it.
normally.
Okay? All right, guys, there's food.
Things that you can do on the job site if you're in a jam. Before I forget, Vinny, here's a couple of these.
One is mine.
No.
You see?
There you go.
That was a Dustin.
Where's about me go? You need something extra.
I'm the PM. Oh, come on.
All right.
You owe me coffee
Thank
now.
you. Oh.
See?
That's the old one. It's okay.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Okay, and I brought some double face tape for the trims. So when I put my trims in, I like to, let's say it's that long, and let's say it's a back wall trim and it's 5 feet. I put one inch right here, one in the middle, and one on the end, and then put some dots. Yep. And then when that goes up and it's level, you won't need the painter's tape because this double face tape will hold it in place while that cures. So I'm going to leave that with you. But every once in a while, you have to do some bends and things on your own. And this is the great thing about this that V bit. You put a V, it has to have room to bend it. You need to create relief. And I don't know how long this has really been on. I don't think it's been on all that long, but I'm gonna just let it sit there for a second. When this is up and running and it's been on and it's hot, each bend generally takes about 45 seconds to get hot enough that you can, without forcing it. And so while that's heating, I want to show you a couple of other things. I pre-grooved these back home, but I want to show you a couple of things that you can do. So if I want to bend this side and this side, I obviously need to get rid of that corner. So instead of just cutting it, I like to follow that angle. You see that? So
That would give you the miter.
yep. That way. That way it's got room to collapse and meet right there in the middle. So in a few minutes we're gonna do a couple of these. If you guys wanna cut these corners out right here, you're welcome to do that. I think this might be ready. Yeah, it is. So you can bend it at a 90, you find something, or if you need a 22.5, you know, wherever that is, you hold that in place. I like to have a little compressed air to
Cool it down.
yeah, if not, I'll put some weight on and let that sit for 2 minutes.
We have those sprays.
Yeah, we did.
We have the cans.
Do you?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, that's good. So, still going to take a few minutes. But you can bend these things into boxes. Good heck, I've done a ton of boxes or caps of some sort. So, the fact that this cow rod is only that thick, it really channels it into this groove, where a heat gun is a little bit bigger and it's rather wide. And so in this exercise here, I don't want my cow rod making this swell up because it kind of distorts it. So I'll either put a piece of tin or something underneath it, or I'll just slide it this way. So we'll let that sit for a minute. How you coming with the, yeah. You see there's that nice edge. And it kind of welds itself back onto itself. I mean, if you put a lot of pry on it, you could still pull it apart, but it's not bad. And I've done a lot of like seam strips on real long skirts where I've made a 45. Let's say it's a corner garden top or something like that. That's nice.
And you're gonna have to pull glue and nothing.
No, you don't. You won't there. No. Okay. So there's that. Okay. You guys might be getting close to being ready. How does it feel? Yep,
yeah,
yours
you're
is ready. Yep.
I can smell it.
Yeah. It's not harmful, I promise.
Look for the sun right here.
Now, obviously, we're not going to be able to get this one on here. That's where your gun comes into play. Or if you don't want to get it out, we'll be very careful. We'll just heat the top, but we'll be really careful, because really what I'm trying to show you is is how this corner is going to come together. It's going to be really nice. Still a little bit hot, a little bit tender, but I'm still going to show you. Now, if you put this on, it'll scald it, and that will really, I mean, if you leave it on, even with a heat gun or whatever, and you leave it, it'll just cook it. See, that still didn't do anything, and it was there that long. So, okay, let's try this. I'm just gonna gently go like this. I'm not gonna have it down low because I don't want to take any chances. So I'm just gonna keep it up here, keep it up kind of high, and the heat gun would take
A little bit longer.
10 seconds on this one. Now, the reason I like a cow rod over a heat gun on, let's say, a threshold, you got to do a 5 foot threshold. By the time you get to the end, this is cooled, and it takes you quite a while. It really, truly does. All right, so this is starting to get good, and I haven't scalded it and ruined anything. So.
Brightness is getting those two better.
Okay.
You can almost see it starting to bend by itself.
Yeah, it wants to. Now, there's enough scrap here for you to practice whatever you want to practice. So, and then I want to show you one more thing that's really nice. And I don't know if you've ever used a glue with an accelerator. I found this several years ago in a woodworker's shop where woodworkers that are putting crown and going around, let's say, a rounded edge, or the 45s instead of perfect 90s anymore, they're rounded, so they're doing 22 and a half all the way around. And so I actually saw a good finish carpenter, a good friend of mine, use this stuff. And what he did is the same thing I'm going to teach you right now. Okay, see, that's still kind of flimsy and it's not perfect tight. Use a little bit of this adhesive, and it kind of, see, that's kind of getting down in there. And this is an accelerator. I don't know if you can see it. Is it smoking? Is it? I might be a little too close to see it, but see, it's already there. It's done. And then I take a little file, a little sandpaper, and take that sharp edge off. But it's there. See how quick that is? Yeah. You don't want to get this on your skin because it is wicked. It is not only solid, and you won't get it. You won't get your fingers apart, but it'll burn the crap out of you. It is so hot.
So what is that?
This is the accelerator.
That's
Let's
the-
take a look.
Just what kind of glue is that?
It's not a super glue, but it
Gorilla Glue.
It's like a little, kind of like an epoxy type.
kind of.
When you pick that up?
We'll send you all the links of where to get this.
I get this at, there's a place called Rockler on Claremont Drive. They have all this.
Oh, they do?
Rockler, yeah.
wood shop?
It's a wood.
If it's a wood shop, they've got it.
Rockler.
So there's that. So if you're building a
Pony wall.
let's say a pony wall, obviously you're going to need another V groove right there before you start bending. Cut both of them out, bend them both, And there you are. If you've got a shelf of some kind, there's so many things that you can do to finish the job while you're there.
Yeah.
And then you're done. Then you don't have to go back for 20 minutes the next morning, driving 35 minutes or an hour or something. If you can get it while you're there, these little tricks, these little things, this is handy to have in your truck. But these accelerators, these are great. I was on a job where at the last minute they decided that they wanted this weird angle shelf because they loved the color. It was crema bordeaux, which is a wild color.